Welcome back to Lethal Hammer's channel. Again, thanks for watching the videos. For those of you not subscribed, please go ahead and do so, as I like to produce a lot of videos showing water cooling, overclocking, benchmarking, all sorts of stuff. So if that's stuff that interests you, definitely would love to have you subscribe and check out our future videos and past videos. But as most of you could see, I've rebuilt the system in a new case, and my overall efforts to get better overall deltas in regards to water cooling. For those of you new to water cooling or looking to water cool, deltas is really the difference between your ambient temp of what your system is running at idle. So let's just say, for example, your GPUs under just basic water cooling, not overclocked, is running at 40 Celsius. Typically, what you want to do is, obviously when you're water cooling, you want to keep it as close to ambient as possible, but your delta, there's usually classified as a 2 Celsius delta, 5 Celsius delta, 10 Celsius delta, etc. Good water coolers like to keep within a 10 Celsius delta range, which means if it's 40 Celsius idle, it won't go over 50 Celsius when it's running at full load. It takes quite a bit of cooling power to pull that off, let alone to drop that down to a 5 Celsius delta, but it is possible. But in general, I jumped into this new case in hopes to get to a closer 10 Celsius delta overall, which I'm pleased to announce I have. So, but I'd like to introduce you, for those of you who haven't seen this case before, this is a Danger Den double wide. There's quite a few options that you could do with the case. Danger Den has a lot of options, customizations possible, all the way from, they offer an SR2 expansion, which makes the case wider. I obviously didn't opt for that. I'm using the E760 X58 classified motherboard, so I didn't feel the $50 more to make the case wider to hold a board like that would be worth it. And they also offer stuff, where you can mount your PSU down low, up high, up in the front. You can have multiple 5.25-inch like hard drive bays, or you can have no hard drive bays at all, and port or mount two 480 radiators in the front instead of 360s, etc., etc. But again, lots of options. It's an amazing case. I'll get the camera around so you can see it a little bit better in a moment, but just wanted to go over the specs and kind of give you guys an idea of how the flow works. And I know we get a lot of people watching that are first-time water coolers or want to jump into it and just don't understand how water cooling works or how things should flow. And hopefully my videos have helped in the past. I know I've gotten a lot of people emailing me saying they have, so just want to do a quick breakdown so people can understand a little bit better if it's their first time. So bear with me. First off, the PC specs. The system is running a 980X running at 4.6 gigahertz. Its stock speed is 3.33, so we got a really nice overclock on the processor. I am running a 6 gigs, a Corsair Dominator. It's 1866 megahertz memory. I am running it at 1928 megahertz. The motherboard is an EVGA E760X580 classified 3-way SLI. They do have a new variant that is the classified 3, I think, or the For the Win 3. Just offers the 3.0 USB and SATA 6.0 variants. Again, I don't have products that utilize either of those, so I don't see the need to upgrade just yet. I'm running two EVGA GTX580 super clocks, running an SLI. Both cards are running at 980 megahertz core. Stock is 797, I believe, on the super clocks. Idle temp with the window open is 21 Celsius, but on average it sits around like 26, 27 Celsius, just normally in the room. And then under full load it reaches about 38 Celsius, which lands us around that 10 Celsius delta I was talking about earlier. Hard drive wise, running OCZ Agility super solid state drives. They are the 120 gig drives running in RAID 0. And then I have a Western Digital 1 terabyte hard drive just for data backup. And then I also have a 300 gig Raptor drive for specific games that just run better off a platter drive over solid state. Power supply, still keeping with the Silverstone, 1500 watt. It's an amazing power supply. I'd recommend checking it out if you're going a big system that need lots of power, or that needs lots of power. And the newest addition to the system is the Creative XFI Fatality sound card, which my wife got me early for a Christmas present. What a nice wife I have, right? But to break down the water cooling aspects of things, quite a few things, so don't get too confused. Right off the get-go, jumped into 3 Black Ice, or Danger Den Black Ice GTX 360 radiators. So there's 3 of them in the case, 2 on this side, and then 1 in the back, which you won't be able to see. We have 2 Koolance GTX580 water blocks on our GTX 580 super clocks from EVGA. If you refer back to our older videos that show how to install those blocks and how to remove your stock coolers. Have 1 SwiftTech Apogee XT CPU water block, which is on the processor obviously. Have an XSPC 5.25 inch bay reservoir, which is pretty much the water tank for the CPU loop. Added a new Danger Den Rad reservoir, which is for the GPU loop. And then again for the liquid, I'm still using Primo Chill Ice, the clear version. The tubing is what's blue. I recommend it. Awesome coolant, has all the stuff already added. Using the Primo Chill Primo Flex Pro UV blue tubing. So going with the blue tube instead of the dye. And then an assortment of Bytes power compression, barb, 90-degree compression fittings, etc. And the system's still running with a SwiftTech MCP665 and a SwiftTech MCP350 pump. The 350 is on the CPU and chipset loop, and the 665 is on the GPU loop. So, jumping into the system a little bit more, move the camera a little bit closer, and let's get some light installed, some UV lighting, and let it warm up. It'll get brighter, but as you'll see, still have to do some vinyl dye on the cables. Apologize for the wiring mess. But you'll see here we have one 360 and a second 360 radiator mounted to the front of the case. You'll see this is the double wide case, so it is double width. See the 3 fans in the front. Goes from the pump to the back radiator to the front radiator, into the graphics card to the top, down into the bottom card, back up and around to the reservoir, which is in the back, which you won't be able to see unfortunately in this video. Stay tuned for the next video and I'll show you the back side of the case. And then on the CPU loop, it's actually flowing slightly differently, where the radiators on the back side, behind this, and it flows down into the processor here, so the flow is going into here, coming back up and around into the chipset, down to the bottom part of the chipset, back up to the reservoir, which is holding the liquid, which is right here, and then back in, back to the pump, back to the radiator. And all my flow in the case, it is going pump into the radiators, then into the components, etc. That's usually the best way to go, mainly because the pumps do generate a little bit of heat. It's not that much, and you're really not going to see that much difference, but if you're running multiple pumps in succession, I'd recommend it. Still have the sleeve cables from Crisis Gamer on EVGA forums. Look up his name, Crisis Gamer. He has a for sale thread. Great stuff. But overall, that's the system where we're at. Thanks for watching the update. Again, don't forget to subscribe. We have a lot more videos. I keep saying we. I have a lot more videos coming, and I appreciate you guys checking it out.